English, ma'am.
Sir? Hello?
Sir, shall we start, sir?
Yes.
Okay, madam.
Okay, sir. A very good morning to all. I'm Ms. P. Naglakshmi on behalf of Kalaslingam Business School, CAR. Welcome you all to the third day of Faculty Development Program. It's time to learn the thing unknown to known. This COVID pandemic shows one thing: anywhere, anytime, at any situation, we would never stop to learn. I heartily welcome our great eminent resource person, Dr. A. Dharmaraj, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Karpagam Academy of Higher Education, Coimbatore. And I would like to welcome Dr. G. Ravindran, Dean, Kalaslingam Business School, who has always supported us in all the situations. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wish to welcome Dr. R. Vijay, Deputy Dean of Kalaslingam Business School, Head, Department of Business Administration. Welcome you, ma'am. I extend my welcome Dr. G. Ramesh Pandi, Head, Department of Commerce. And I wish to welcome Ms. P. Ramya, Head, Department of Social Work. Welcome you, ma'am. I welcome Dr. D. Vanitha, Coordinator of SHIPS of Kalaslingam Business School. And I would like to welcome all the participants of teacher fraternity and my dear colleagues for the today's session. Now I invite Dr. G. Ravindran, Dean, Kalaslingam Business School, to share few words with us, sir. Sir?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nagalakshmi. A very good morning, one and all. First of all, I just express my gratitude towards to the management, the Kalaslingam Academy of Research and Education, the Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, our Vice President, the Vice Chancellor, and our respected Registrar for having given us this opportunity to enhance our the faculty knowledge in the latest development in our curriculum. So I just, once again, I just thank our management. Now, I just welcome our Honorable today's resource person, Dr. A. Dharmaraj of Karpagam University, Karpagam Academy of Research and Education Day, for having accepted to be the resource person for this wonderful, that is rather MTP program that is titled on the teaching and that is rather the latest development in the teaching methods in of this business practices. So business practices includes everything: management, commerce, social work, and everything. So here I would like to say a few words about the topic what we have chosen for this session: amalgamation. The amalgamation, relates to both partnership amalgamation as well as this corporate limited companies amalgamation. Amalgamation includes there is rather various there is multinational company. Nowadays you could have seen number of multinational companies, those who are not able to tolerate the cutthroat competition. To avoid this cutthroat competition, they started amalgamating themselves. They started merging themselves, merging themselves, and they start acquiring. There is a various other corporates which are not doing well. So we have three different categories under this: amalgamation, absorption, reconstruction. Absorption in the sense the acquisition, and merger. It includes there is rather amalgamation. Amalgamation is nothing but amalgamating a number of companies doing the similar type of business, having agreed to amalgamate themselves, and they'll form a new company. The difference between the amalgamation and the acquisition would be: amalgamation is to a voluntary, whether a voluntary, there is rather interest. They express their interest to amalgamate themselves for the purpose of there is avoiding the cutthroat competition in the global area. So here acquisition, it is the new company will not be, that is rather created, whereas in amalgamation, new company will be formed to take amalgamated companies. So these things we normally come across. Whereas in the case of reconstruction, we've got both external and internal reconstruction. The external reconstruction, where in which we, like amalgamation, we have to create a new company. The existing company will be taken over by the the new company. That is it. Whereas in the internal reconstruction, no new company will be formed, or the same company, no company will be taken over. The same company, the structure, the capital structure of the company will be restructured and will be started with the new structure, capital structure of the company. So here there is these three things comes under this thing. But amalgamation, as far as amalgamation is concerned, it is a very quite common, there is rather phenomena happens, that is every day in the business world. So to avoid the cutthroat competition, whereas here the amalgamating companies will be liquidated first, and they will be absorbed by, rather they'll be amalgamated, a new company will be formed to take over the company. So the existing company will be closed, and they will take stakeholding there. There is a newly formed companies. So more there is formalities and procedures are there, which will be expressed and explained by our resource person in detail. Just for a few, there is news about this, information about this amalgamation, absorption, reconstruction, I just said. With this, I thank our HOD of Commerce and the Faculty of Commerce for having given me the opportunity to participate and inaugurate this. There is FDP. That is on this. There is the latest methods there is business practices in the world of business. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill a love of learning. We all are most awaiting to learn from you, sir. A small introduction about our guest. Now I request Dr. G. Ramesh Pandi, Head Department of Commerce, to introduce our resource person. Sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to all present here. Before introducing our chief guest, let me thank the management, Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Vice President, Vice Registrar, Dean, Deputy Dean of Kalasinga Business School, for giving me this wonderful opportunities to organize a one-week development program by us. I take the privilege to introduce our chief guest, Dr. as well as a resource person, Dr. Dharmaraj Armugam, presently working as Associate Professor in the Department of Commerce and Management, Karpagam Academy of Higher Education, Coimbatore. He was awarded with PhD in Commerce. He secured his MPhil, MCom, MPhil and MBA degree from Bardiyar University, Coimbatore, and qualified with UGC NET for Commerce. He received Best Faculty Award from Nehru Group of Institutions and the Junior category in Commerce during December 2016. He also received one more award called Dr. Janagaratnam Memorial Award in the year 2007 for the best outgoing student from Kobe Arts and Science College, Kobe Jettipalayam. He is also acting as an NSS coordinator and keeping the CARET activities in various social welfare activities. He has also been recognized as a research guide for MPhil and PhD research programs. Presently, he produced 8 PhDs and 1 more MPhil candidates. At present, he is guiding for PhD scholars. Dharmaraj Armugam has attended several workshops and presented 22 papers in the various national level and international level seminars organized by the various educational institutions. He has also published many papers in the Scopus indexed journals and other journals. He has awarded for many social activities like Swachh Bharat, Swachh Bhagavata, and organizing many blood donation camps. I think he is the right person for our today's session. With this, I would like to conclude my session. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time to update ourselves. Now I hand over the great person to lead the session. Dr. A. Dharmaraj, sir. Sir,
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your great greetings and very good morning to everyone, every participants of this online FDP program. And I wish my sincere, heartfelt thanks to Uh, Professor Dr. G. Ravindran Sir, Dean, Kalaslingam Business School, and Dr. R. Vijay, Deputy Dean and HOD of Management, and my good friend Dr. Ramesh Pandey, Professor Head of Commerce, for inviting me to join as a resource person in this faculty development program. And I welcome all the academician participants and for this FDP program. Really, it is amazing to, in this pandemic, we people are updating our knowledge day to day through this digital media. Really very helpful for everyone. So here, actually, the topic when we are discussing with Ramesh Pandey sir, he asked me to uh, give some input tips or tricks for teaching accounting subjects for any accounting subject for the faculty members. So I'm handling accounts and taxation for many around for the last 10 years. Uh, Even when I started my career, I used to bring big books like Advanced Accounting, Chukla Griwal, Gupta, and Jain and Narang to the classroom. When I get into the class, students says, after seeing that big books, students usually get fear. So nowadays, we people having a great plenty of opportunity to having a digital resource that there is mobile, and we have some electronic support for handling these kind of issues. So we people usually should come up with some best innovative and creative ideas uh, to teach students and make them interest over the subject. So especially for this session, I going to handle with as an example uh, to teach accounting for amalgamation. Everybody knows made our deans are made my job simple. He explained what is amalgamation and how the companies are similar type of businesses are joined together and do a new business. So such a way give a short and very simple meaning or meaning for the amalgamation. So let me get into the subject. So teaching the best for teaching accounting subjects, we should know about some. Uh, we should keep practicing some E's like engage. So we should engage our students uh, by giving variety of techniques in teaching and explore the subject explore from known to unknown known facts to unknown facts. We should travel with the students and learn with them. Okay, and whenever we are teaching any whatever may be the accounting concept, when we are teaching accounting concept, we should connect with our audience, starting from starting point to till the end of the session. We should connect with the students and we should keep in touch with them by asking and evaluating in between whatever we are in between the classes by judging our effectiveness in teaching, and also ask questions whenever they are deviating the classes. So we should uh, explain the basic fundamental theories and concepts, especially the meanings and definitions in detailed manner. So that they should understand the basics are very important. So we should understand the basic concepts in a detailed manner, so that we will engage the students and let them teach in a effective manner and elaborate with the practical problems. We should teach them how to uh, in, how this particular topic which we are teaching is important for their day-to-day life, or how this topic, each topic in accounting is helpful for their life, or in their professional career, or for studying higher education. So we should, importance of the topic is very much important. So before getting into the topic, you should make aware them that what are the job opportunities in that particular field, or why we are studying that particular topic. So how we going to this topic is going to helpful for their higher education, and to do some uh, business, or while taking income tax and all, we used to say at least for your assessing your income, individual income, it will help like that. So we should explain how this is going to helpful in day-to-day life. So I think all people, all the participants are from the academics. It is not uh, necessary to teach them about the amalgamation or about uh, how to take teach. So dealing with the students is very important nowadays. So we can use, and there are different methods nowadays they are following. For as far as myself is concerned, teaching accounting, we usually use chalk and talk, yeah, lecture method. So lecture method, every we people we are using lecture method for teaching. We can have a large content. We can by the way of lecture method, we can teach more topics and give more amount of knowledge skill to the students. We through this method we can engage them and get them listening to our topics. But maximum it is a one way of teaching method. But as far as accounting topics are concerned, we should have some discussion methods. So that by forming small groups and assigning some problems and some practical problems to solve some practical problems. So like some business schools, we should also uh, have to engage our students for learn about a particular accounting topic. So nowadays, the business schools also are following project methods, and we can have a role play method and problem solving method by giving some exercises, and there are another methods like demonstration by giving examples and practical stories. By telling short stories, we can engage them about a particular recent happenings in the world. So and you should also welcome new ideas about the accounting, or by practices from the students also. Nowadays, we people used to conduct simulation games. So we can also we can also conduct some simulation games for engaging our students. So teachers should be, no, we people should engage them, teach them with a be smiling and be very nice and smart when needed. Whenever needed, we should strict on uh, the classroom in the classrooms. and be active. Even people, I have seen some teachers, those who are bringing uh, books and reading sums and doing it uh, by way of lecture only. So, but use maximum use of blackboard or smart boards, we can interact students. We should engage them actively in. We can engage them actively in the classrooms. Nowadays, these millennial students are very much interested to learn through media. So, um, as an accounting, we can have a very uh, large resources in the online. We can utilize uh, the Naptel, MOOC, medias, and have found many videos and teachings of chartered accountants and corporate secretaries in the YouTube and etc. Very there are a lot of resources are available nowadays through online, so we can engage students in social media and use them to learn from the pros pros of the social media. So by and we should committed to this beyond learning and development of the students. So let us get into that. Just for an mm, interaction, I wish to get into the topic. And hello, sorry, Ram.
Yes, sir, hearing, sir. We are hearing, sir.
Can you change this
Okay. Actually,
slide?
sir,
Is it
What about
changing,
slide?
sir?
No, yes.
Ah,
Just I started with some input for teaching accounting, and this is the meaning and definition of accounting. The term amalgamation is used when two or more companies carrying on similar business go into liquidation and a new company is formed by take over their business. Even we can see in recent days we had a number of more than 132 have found when I am searching for this mergers in India. So especially for you can say India Steam Company Limited and Chamba Fertilizers Chemicals, India Bulls with India Bull Housing Finance, India Charge Chrome Limited, and we can say Indian Petroleum Chemical Corporation Limited has merged with Reliance Industries Limited. Such a way there are a number of similar type of businesses are getting into many small business are joined together and start a new company and doing the business. So that is amalgamation. So the absorption is also used when existing companies takes over the business of one or more existing companies. Okay? Then especially from 1st April 2016, India Accounting Standards 103, the business combinations, Indian Chartered Accountants of India specifies the procedure for accounting for amalgamations and the treatment of goodwill and capital reserve. So we should see some important definitions before getting into the topic. So acquiree and acquirer, acquisition, date, business combinations, goodwill, the capital reserve. These are some unique terminologies which we have to learn before getting into into the topic in detail. Next. Ramesh sir? Some terminologies we should understand before teaching this accounting for amalgamation classes. The following terms which specified meaning have been used in India is one or three business combinations. So business combination is a transaction in which the acquirer obtain control over the acquiring business. How can you obtain control? By way of acquiring assets and liabilities and processes of the other small businesses. We can acquire, we can control the another business. So another mode of control is having majority stake, that is more than 50% of the equity shareholding. Then acquirer can take control over other company. Accounting, when acquire a business, we should deal with India AS and India AS 110. So for example, we have recent acquisitions. The small companies are acquired by the big companies. So for example, we have an acquisition. Anissa, next slide. Yeah. So Reliance Retail Ventures Limited, we know the big, it is a subsidiary company of the Reliance Industries Limited, has acquired Sri Kannan Departmental Store, which is famous here in the Coimbatore region, for around 152.5 crore. We should give some sort of familiar examples when we are teaching about this concept. So big fish eating small fish. So Reliance Industries, we know the giant and one of the multinational corporation is acquiring small retail. Its subsidiary called Reliance Retail Ventures Limited is acquiring Sri Kannan Departmental Store. It's for the worth of 152.5 crore for 100% equity shares. So it is an example for the acquisition. So this nowadays everybody knows the government of India is doing some changes in banking sector. There are different small banks were merged together for some benefit. So like Indian Bank, Allahabad Bank was merged with Indian Bank, and Union Bank of India and Oriental Bank of Commerce was merged with Punjab National Bank, and Syndicate Bank merged with Canara Bank, and the Andhra Bank and Corporation Bank was merged with Union Bank. So such mergers are going on in India. The motives for mergers and acquisition. Why these corporations or government is doing merger? Okay, so main motive is to benefit out of the large scale business. When we are when doing large scale business, we people have a benefit of enjoying both internal and external economics and elimination of competition. By way of merger, we can eliminate severe intense and wasteful expenditure by different competing organizations. So desire to enjoy monopoly power. Merger and acquisition also leads to monopolistic control in the market. Adaptation of modern technology. Corporate organizations require large resources. So one company might have a different technology, another company have a different technology and patent rights, etc. For that also, these days companies are getting for collaboration and even for acquisition and merger. The lack of technical and managerial talents. Due to industrialization, scarcity of entrepreneurial skills and managerial ability, technical talent, the companies have come forward for mergers and acquisitions. So what is the difference between the amalgamation and external reconstruction? So amalgamation is the two or more companies are one to a and a new company formed. Two or more companies are wound up and a new company formed uh, in the amalgamation. As far as the external reconstruction is concerned, new company is formed by taking over the business of the existing company, and minimum number of companies in amalgamation is 3 and minimum is 3, at least 3 companies. We are liquidating 2 companies and forming another new company. So external reconstruction is concerned. One existing company is taken and is merged or taken over by the another company and will do business in the another name. It's a number of new resultant companies. When amalgamation is concerned, single company, and both external reconstruction also, two companies join together and form a new company, one single company, resultant company. And in external reconstruction, one company is formed by take over the business of the existing company. So the existing company, one existing company will be the resulting company. So objective of amalgamation is to cut competition and reap economies of large scale production. External reconstruction is concerned, it is done to reorganize financial structure. A Limited and B Limited is formed to amalgamate and form a C Limited company. When Y Limited is formed to take over the business of an existing company, that is X Limited. Purchase consideration is important topic when we are talking about amalgamation. So without any consideration, this without anything, without something, no one will do any work. So consideration is concerned, the purchase is given for the purpose of merger or amalgamation of the company. Purchase consideration is an amount is paid by the acquirer company for the purpose of the business of the acquiring company. It means aggregate value of shares and other securities issued and payment made in cash or other assets by acquirer company to the shareholders of the acquiring company. We have different methods: lump sum method, network method, net payment method, intrinsic value method. As far as lump sum method is concerned, acquirer company agrees to pay some fixed amount, either 150 crore or 152 crore, like that, 200 crore. The lump sum amount of cash paid by the acquirer to the acquiree, then it is a lump sum method of calculating purchase consideration. We have another method, net worth or net assets method. We used to say net worth or net assets method. The purchase consideration here is calculated by adding assets taken over by the acquirer company minus the agreed value of the liabilities assumed by the acquirer company. So assets minus liabilities, assets acquired and liabilities agreed to take over by the acquiring company is considered for calculating net worth method. Under net payment method, adding various payments in the form of shares, securities, cash, etc. made by the acquiring company and the liquidation expenses borne by the acquiring company are included for the purchase consideration purpose. Then the intrinsic value of SAS. The intrinsic value method is, for this purpose, we take intrinsic value of SAS equal to net assets available divided by number of equity shares. So total net assets of the companies divided by the number of equity shares, then we will get the intrinsic value. This value determines the ratio of exchange of shares between the acquirer and the acquired. Just for an example, would like to get into one problem for calculating the purchase consideration. Under this, we are given with the liabilities and assets of the Dreamers Limited as on 31st March 2020 stood as under. So whenever we start sums, we should ask them to go through sum thoroughly without thorough knowledge in the sum and about detailed idea about the sum. No one can do answers. Yeah? So we should ask them to read 2-3 times. Okay? So just for example, liabilities and assets of Dreamers Limited as on 31st March 2020 stood as under. So liabilities side, we have share capital, 10% of share capital of 100 each is given in amount as given in lakhs, and equity shares of 10 each. General reserve 12% debentures. Current liabilities were given. In the asset side, fixed assets, investments, current assets were given. Actually, this is a balance sheet of the Dreamers Limited. So, additional information. Performers Limited signified their agreement to take over the assets and liabilities of Dreamers Limited as per the following terms and conditions. Fixed assets at 90% of the book value. So, with this first information, the companies, we can conclude that the company, this Dreamers Performers Limited is going to take over Dreamers Limited. They are going to take fixed assets of Dreamers Limited at 90% of its book value. Okay, so we have around 130 in lakhs. So it is valued at 90%. So the company is going to take, Performance Limited is going to take fixed assets of the Dreamers Limited at 117 lakhs. Okay. Investments are valued at 10% above the par value. As far as balance is concerned, investment value is 24. So it is taken at 10% above. So 24 into 10% 2.4. So it is taken above the value. Okay. Then 26.4. Then current assets and liabilities at book value except the stock in trade at cost amounting to rupees 10 lakh was agreed to be taken over at a discount of 20%. So current assets and liabilities at book value except stock in trade. So this type of information should be noted. Except stock in trade is taken at cost amounting to 10 lakh. As far as balance sheet concerned, we have current assets worth of 20 lakhs. So 20 lakhs, out of which 10 lakhs is stock in trade, which is agreed to taken over at a discount of 20%. So current assets is 20 lakhs, 20% is around 4 lakhs. So current out of the current asset, 10 lakhs is the stock. Stock is valued at 20% at discount by 20%. So 10 lakhs, 20%, 2. So stock is taken at the rate of 8 lakhs. So 12% debentures are to be discharged at a premium of 15% by issuing 12% debentures of Performers Limited. And preference shareholders are to be discharged at premium of 15% by issuing 10% preference shares of rupees 100 each. The equity shareholders are discharged at a premium, or in Dreamers Limited are issued with equity shares of rupees 10 each in the Performers Limited. For every 3 shares, held by them. Work out the consideration for taking over under the net asset method by paying payment method. So we have, from this sum, it is identified that we have to compute net purchase consideration of the Dreamers Limited and purchase consideration of the acquisition of Performers Limited from the Dreamers Limited. So they're going to, we have two different methods. Now work out consideration for the takeover under net asset method and net payment method. Under the net assets method, as per the sum problem, fixed assets are taken over at 90%. That is calculated in the first step. So we can put a format, computation of purchase consideration according to net asset method. Fixed assets taken at 90%, that is 130 lakhs into 90%, 170. The investments are taken at 10% above, that is the value of investments are 24 lakhs into 10% above. So 100 plus 10, that is 110 divided by 100. So the investments are valued at 26.4. Current assets, stock in trade is taken at the 20% discount. So as far as balance sheet is concerned, we have current assets worth of 20 lakhs. So the 20 out of the 20 lakhs current assets, only 10 lakhs is stock. That 10 lakhs, 20% is discount. So it is valued at 80%. Stock in trade is valued at 80%. 80%. So it's 8 lakhs. Other current assets, 10 lakhs is at book value. We are taking that Performers Limited taking at par value. So that is book value. So total assets are concerned 161.40. So liabilities are taken over by the Performers Limited. 12% debentures are discharged at a par by 15% by issuing 12% debentures of Performers Limited. So they are, and 15% debentures at a premium of 15%. So 28 lakh debenture value as far as liability side is concerned, debenture value is 28 lakhs. So out of the 28 lakhs, 15% premium. So 100 plus 15, 115, 28 lakhs into 115 divided by 100. So we have 32.2 lakhs. Current liabilities are taken at the book value as per the information given in the problem. So total current liabilities is 50. Total liabilities taken over by the Dreamer Performers Limited is 52.20. So total assets amounting to 161.40. Total liabilities around 52.20. So net purchase consideration as per the net assets method comes to 109.20 lakhs. Then net payment method is concerned, we have to compute based on the payment made by the Performers Limited to the Dreamers Limited. Ramesh sir, can you go back to problem? Yes, earlier. Yes, sir. Stop. So equity shareholders you can say in this problem, the first part is given related to net assets method. The last 2 points especially related to net payment method. So preference shareholders are discharged at a premium of 15% by issuing 10% preference shares of 100 each. So preference shares are discharged at 15% premium, 100 plus 15 by issuing 10% preference shares in the new car, that is Performance Company Limited. Equity shares are discharged at 5 issued at 5 equity shares of rupees 10 each in the Performance Limited for every 3 shares held by them. So as far as solution is concerned, the computation of purchase consideration under the net payment is preference shareholders are paid at 15% premium, already 30 lakhs. So 30 lakhs preference shareholders worth of preference shares are there in the Dreamers Limited. It's amounting to 30 lakhs plus 50% premium. 30 lakhs into 115 divided by 100. So 34.5 lakhs. So they are discharged. The mode of payment is 10% preference shares. The paid in the form of preference shares of the Performance Limited at 10% interest. Then payment to the equity shareholders are at for a whole those shareholders having 5 shares in the Dreamers Limited will get 3 shares in the Performance Limited. So the payment under the payment of equity shareholders, 5 equity shares for every 3 shares held by them. That is totally in the problem we have 60 lakhs worth of equity shares at rupees 10 each. So 6 lakh shares are there. So 6 lakh shares are there. So for every 5 share they will allot 3 share. So 6 lakhs into 5 divided by 3 into rupees 10. That is 100 lakhs. So equity shareholders of Performance Limited will get around 3 shares for their Dreamers Limited will get 3 shares in the Performance Limited. Under the net payment method, so total purchase consideration, the preference shares or 34.50, equity shares 100. So totally 134. So this is the way of calculating net payment method under amalgamation. Similar type of problems under net payment method. From this we can calculate net assets method, purchase consideration under net asset method. From here itself we are given with amount itself, so it is easy for us by way of identifying the amount. Here we can easily calculate net assets purchase consideration under net asset method. We are given with liabilities and assets. We have to calculate all the assets. So goodwill, land and building, plant and machinery, stock, debtors are given, cash, preliminary expenses are given. So whenever we used to calculate purchase consideration, we should avoid adding cash and preliminary expenses while calculating purchase consideration under net assets method. So for the purpose of calculating purchase consideration, we can take land and building, plant and machinery, goodwill. When goodwill is concerned, you should give goodwill is given with a value, then it will be taken. If goodwill is not value, we cannot include it in the purchase consideration. The value of asset taken over by the company is land and building 2,50,000, plant and machinery 2,40,000, goodwill 2,20,000, stock is valued at 1,30,000, and debtors valued at 80,000. As far as the Providence Company does not take over cash but agrees to assume the liabilities and liability of sundry creditors at 50,000. So by way of this, explaining this sum, we calculate purchase consideration by adding all the assets: goodwill, land and building, plant and machinery, stock, okay, and reducing by deducting the liabilities, that is 5% debentures, sundry creditors, and we can get purchase consideration. So net worth, under the net worth, so next slide. So net worth method, net assets, method of purchase consideration. Calculation of purchase consideration will be as follows: the value of assets taken over by the Providence, we can add all assets like land and building, plant and machinery. It's amounting to 9,20,000 and reduced by sundry creditors taken over by the Providence. So for calculating purchase consideration, we should take all assets taken over by the new company, the acquirer, and less liabilities taken over by the acquirer. Then we will get purchase consideration. So calculating purchase consideration is a major part in preparing accounting for the amalgamation. After preparing this purchase consideration, we get into the books of journals. Okay, how this amalgamation affects in the books of company. So when amalgamation is concerned, we have two major persons. One is transferor and transferee. So we have to enter accounting entries in the books of transferor company and also in the books of transferee company. So as far as a in the books of transferor company is concerned, we're going to wind up the company. We're going to close the company, isn't it? We're going to dissolve the company or whatever it may be, whether it is a partnership or it is a company form of business. When we are going for liquidation, we should clear all the balance sheets, all the assets and liabilities in the balance sheet, and by way of preparing some nominal account, that is called realization. So when company A and B, the small companies, join together and start a new big company, B Limited, A and B are called transferors company, and this AB Limited is taken as a transferee company. We have different types: amalgamation, absorption, then the exchange reconstruction. We have in the topic, but as far as amalgamation is concerned, we're going to wind up both the companies A and B and start a new company called AB Limited, like that. So A company and B company, they're going to lose their existence. So we're going to close all the things in the balance sheet. I have given journal entries, but as far as it is not necessary to, I think it is not necessary to deal with all the journal entries which we have given here. So transferring all the assets of the transferee company to the realization account. As far as liquidation is concerned, I think all the assets are transferred. Those are in the asset side of the balance sheet or transferred to the realization account. So it will comes to left side of the realization account. It is a nominal account. So debit side of the realization account. So that entry is realization account data to various assets. In such a way, when we are transferring our liabilities to the transferring liabilities taken over by the transferee company to the realization account, we cancel the liabilities. We used to predict the liabilities. So for canceling those liabilities, we used to debit the liabilities, isn't it? So various liabilities, that is individually we should keep debit and transfer it to the realization account. For transferring it to realization account, liabilities account data to realization account is a transfer entry. For purchase consideration, transferee company's account data to realization account. And for receiving purchase consideration from the transferee company, bank account data to shares. For example, if they are issuing equity shares or preference shares or by way of cash, whatever it may be, bank account data to data, shares in transferee company account data to transferee company. Such a way we got to do journal entries in the books of transferor company. For assets sold by transferor company not taken over by the transferee company. So those assets are not taken over by the transferee, we can sell it. So when we are selling asset, bank account data to realization account. For entering realization expenses, if it is maintained by the transferee company, then for liabilities taken over by the transferee company, paid by the transferor company, various liabilities debit to realization account. If any excess payment made, it will be transferred to realization account and to bank account or to realization account if less payment is made. For closing realization account, in case of profit, we transfer it to the shareholders. In case of loss also, we transfer to shareholders. So realization account data to equity shareholders account. In case of loss, equity shareholders account data to realization account. For transferring preference share capital to the preference shareholders, so we usually credit the capital account. So preference shareholder share capital account data to preference shareholders account. For transferring equity share capital and accumulated profit of a transferring company, we debit all the funds or all the items in the balance sheet, liability side, capital and liability side, debit all the items and transfer to equity shareholder. For example, equity share capital, general reserve, debenture, redemption reserve, dividend equalization reserve, share premium account, profit and loss account, accident compensation fund, share forfeiture account, profit prior to incorporation, etc. All reserves and provisions which are held in, which are in the liability side are transferred to equity shareholders account. For transferring accumulated loss, we used to enter equity shareholders that are to profit and loss account. In case of debit balance, we will transfer those items which are being in asset side of the balance sheet. Items which are being in the asset side of the balance sheet are transferred to the equity shareholders account. So for that we have entry equity shareholders account data to profit and loss account to discount or expenses on issue of shares account or debentures account to preliminary expenses account. Adhe mari to like example underwriting commission might be there, so that and all is transferred to equity shareholders account. For whatever at the end we have to pay, settle the accounts of the shareholders. For paying them, equity shareholders account data to equity preference shareholders account data to bank account, or sometimes the companies will issue shares of the new company. So for that, to transfer that amount to bank account or shares in the transferring company account. So these are the entries which we used to pass do for the purpose of during the amalgamation time in the transferor company, that is selling company. As far as accounting treatments in trans company, purchase business purchase account debit to liquidators amount, for which the purchase consideration we have calculated. So that amount is debited to purchase business purchase account to the liquidators transferor company account. Liquidators of the transferor company is credited. So for recording assets and liabilities taken over by the transferring company, all the assets as usual, whenever we purchase asset, we used to debit as per the real account norms, debit all assets. So individually you debit all the accounts and credit all the liabilities. So for that, make an entry, a combined entry I have shown. So next slide. Yes, sir. That one, previous. Yes. So sundry assets account, we are debiting all the assets and credit all liabilities. Excess amount is shown as a business purchase account or to reserve account. So difference between the debits and the credits is adjusted in the reserves of the transferring company. As per the accounting standards 14, balance sheet of the profit and loss account of transferor company is transferred to general reserve. Instead, passing two entries, one combined entry can be passed. Sundry account data and two sundry liabilities account, to profit and loss account, to reserve account, to liquidators of transferor company account. So the difference between the above is transferred. The debit and credit is adjusted against the reserve in the books of transferee company. For making payment to the liquidator of transferor company, liquidator of transferor company account data to bank account, share capital account, or securities premium account. If liquidation expenses are made by transferee company, profit and loss account data to bank account. If it is formation of the expenses of the new company or the existing for formation expense, there is preliminary expenses. So preliminary expenses account data to bank account is. Here we are given with some example for a MN Limited agreed to amalgamate on the basis of following balance sheet as on 31/3/2019. Liabilities are given for M Limited and N Limited. Assets also given M Limited and Limited. Assets and liabilities are taken over by a new company formed called O Limited. So M Limited and N Limited are joined together and start some other company. P Limited's capital is 2 lakhs and divided into 10,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. and 10,000 9% preference shares of rupees 10 each. P Limited issued equity shares equally to the vendor company, and preference shares were issued for any balance of the purchase price. First journal entries in the books of P Limited and in the balance sheet. So, as per the exercise, the problem given, we have to calculate the net purchase consideration. Then we can post the journal entries accordingly. So M Limited and N Limited. M Limited is concerned, it's having assets, goodwill, fixed assets, stock, debtors, bank. So we used to take all assets because it's not having any debit balance of profit and loss account or some any other preliminary expenses. We can add all the assets. So goodwill, fixed assets, stock, debtors, bank, including all, we have total of 86,000. Total assets 86,000 is taken and reduced by liabilities. So under net assets method. So liabilities reduced, creditors is concerned, it is 3,500 from 86,000. By reducing 3,500, we get 82,500, that is purchase consideration. As far as N Limited is concerned, it's having different assets, fixed without any goodwill. So fixed assets around 38,800 and stock 12,000, debtors 5,200, bank 2,500. So total it amounts to 58,500 assets taken over by the P Limited from N Limited. So liabilities right consist of 3,500 creditors and depreciation fund 2,500, totally 6,000. So total purchase consideration of N Limited is 52,500. So this is issued. The equity shares were issued to N Limited and M Limited. N Limited issued with, so capital of the new company is divided 2 lakh. So divided into two equal parts, that is 50,000, 50,000. So total capital of new company is 2 lakhs. So each 50,000 equity shares. So for the balance amount, we have to issue preference share capital as per the problem is concerned. We are given with information that 2 lakhs is divided into 10,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. So for Unlimited 50,000, for Unlimited 50,000, and balance 1 lakh is issued. Balance amount is issued in the preference shares. So 50,000 plus 50,000, totally 1 lakh. Balance amount is 35,000. So totally 32,500 balance for purchase consideration for the M Limited, and for M Limited they having 50,000 equity shares worth of issued. So total purchase consideration is 52,500. So 2,500 we have to issue by way of preference shares. So next, journal entries in the books of purchasing company are recorded. So for purchasing, we are paying the purchase consideration with the worth of 135,000. That is 1,35,000. Purchase consideration. So for entering, for purchasing the company, we have to pay 1,35,000 per. So business purchase account data 1,35,000 to M Limited, liquidators of N Limited 82,500 and liquidators of N Limited 52,500 as given in the earlier slide. All the assets which were taken from M Limited and N Limited put together, and we have to, here we are making a combined entry. Fixed assets, stock, debtors, bank, goodwill taken from N Limited and M Limited are debited. All the liabilities taken from the N Limited and N Limited is credited. So balance amount is purchase consideration. So fixed assets 70,300, 200, bank 4,000, goodwill 30,000, creditors 7,000, depreciation 2,500, and business purchase 1,35,000. So liquidators, next third step is payment of purchase price. The liquidators of M Limited are paid with the equity share capital of 50,000 and the preference shares of 32,500. And the liquidators of N Limited are paid with equity share capital of 50,000 and 2,500 worth of preference share capital. So for that, we have to make entry. Liquidators of M Limited account data to equity shareholder capital to preference share capital in P limit. Liquidators of Unlimited account data to equity share capital account data to 9% preference share capital in. So we have to show all these informations in the balance sheet of the P Limited. Next, sir. Yeah, this is the P Limited, newly formed company, which consists of the newly formed company. So as per the schedule, we have to prepare a balance sheet. Balance sheet of P Limited, which is consists of shareholders fund, share capital. So 10,000 equity shares of equity shares were issued for 5,000 for M Limited, 5,000 for P Limited. So total 10,000 equity shares of 100 each, so 1 lakh. Preference shares were issued at 1 lakh, so 10,000 into 10,000 preference shares of rupees 10 each, and issued and paid up 10% equity shares of rupees 100 each, fully paid at 3,500 preference shares of rupees 10 each, fully paid as shown in the balance. So creditors is concerned, we have taken over 7,000 worth of creditor from M Limited and N Limited, that we have to show in the balance. So total, and asset side, assets are concerned, we have taken over fixed assets worth of goodwill worth of 30,000, other assets worth of 70,300, and depreciation fund 2,500. Total fixed assets amounting to 30,000 plus 67,800, and current assets amounting to stock, debtors, etc. So I thank you for your, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir,
Sorry,
hello.
sir.
Shiva, hello.
Yes, sir, I'm hearing, sir. HOD, sir, please unmute yourself, sir. HOD, sir.
Ram?
Yes, sir.
Sir. Ramesh, sir?
Nagalakshmi, ma'am. Please unmute yourself, ma'am. Nagalakshmi, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Hello, HOD, sir. Hello.
HOD, sir, please unmute, sir.
Hello, HOD, sir.
Dharmara sir,
Yeah, yes, sir.
yeah, Dr. S. Karthik raised one question, sir.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Which method of purchase consideration will mostly follow while merging banks? The question which is raised by Dr. S. Karthik, sir.
So most of the mergers are based on the net worth method. That is net assets method. On the basis of the assets and liabilities held by the companies, whether it is a business manufacturing trading company or it may be a bank or whatever it may be, it is based, most probably it is based on the net asset method. They are calculating their purchase consideration.
Okay, sir.
So,
Any other questions from participants, right? Sir, another one question, sir, raised by Dr.
Yes, sir.
Karthik. That is,
Yes, sir.
what are the structural reforms significant for merging companies?
So what are the structural reform according to
Significant for merging companies, for merging a company, sir.
what are the structural reforms?
Reforms. Significant. Essentials of
Yeah, yes. Essentials of
that is called the essentials of structural reforms for merging a company, sir.
Sir, a merger is we have different methods. No, only we have three forms now: merger, absorption, and reconstruction.
Okay, sir.
So that is both the internal reconstruction and external reconstruction are there. So we have majorly we have merger, acquisition, and reconstruction. Three major types of mergers, amalgamations concerned. Three major way we are these companies are doing themselves into it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Ramkumar, sir. Ramkumar, sir.
So teaching,
Yes,
I definitely came to know that teaching accountancy with black and board and in this online mode is very difficult. Isn't it, sir? Ramesh, sir?
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Participants, we have any other questions? Any other questions from participant side? Ramkumar, sir.
yes, sir.
Please unmute Vijay ma'am.
Okay. So, ma'am has to unmute, sir.
Vijay ma'am. Unmute by yourself, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Dharmaraj sir, many congratulations for the excellent presentation. And I'm sure that all the participants have, enjoyed your presentation. And we really appreciate your time for us. for giving, accepting our invitation and coming down and spending your time with us. It's been such a inspiration to watch all the presentation. We appreciate your efforts also because we know how difficult it is. Had there been a board or a display or a whiteboard,
Yes, sir. Yes,
it would have been really great. With all the constraints, we are very happy that you spent so much of effort, and I'm sure all the participants here would have enjoyed your presentation. So on behalf of Kalasalingam team, my colleagues Ramesh Pandey sir and other HODs, we really appreciate your being here and sharing your insights with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank all the participants for joining with us today and giving a wonderful session. And I thank Dr. Ramesh Pandey sir for giving me this opportunity to give a concluding remark on behalf of Team Kalasalingam Business.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Nagalakshmi ma'am.
Sir, let me conclude, sir.
Yeah.
So thank you to all the participants being with us, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Amidst of your busy schedule, you being with us. We all are so happy to learn many things from you, sir. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, HOD, sir, wind up, sir.
Yeah. All are requested to come back at 3 p.m. ma'am.
Come back at 3 p.m. afternoon sessions. We welcome you.